is, but I always think about like what my objective is when I come to the Chorizo Menudo breakfast or when I go anywhere to go talk to any group. And I see people out here, and you know, y'all have heard me ask y'all before, is everybody registered to vote? And everybody in this room generally raises their hand, but I'm pretty sure there's somebody that hasn't changed their address yet, you know? And I'm pretty sure that we have kids. And if I ask each and every single one of y'all, do you know if every single one of your kids are registered to vote? Some of you would say, yeah, but I know there's one or two of y'all that don't know for sure. So my objective, what I always think about is, how do I help create, instill in each and every single one of you, and maybe the responsibility in each and every single one of you, to just think about like that being your core, little bitty, small thing you can do as an American. That's not much, right? You register to vote. You make sure your kids are registered to vote. You make sure that your address is right so that they don't try to put you in jail. But what I really want to do, what I really want, is that y'all did it on your own. Nobody has to tell you, and nobody has to tell your kids. Because you've had enough conversations with them about the news, about current events, letting them weed through their social media and make sure they're not reading the wrong things, and becoming lifetime committed Americans and voters, right? Think about how simple that is, what I'm asking y'all to do. And I do it every time I come down here. Y'all know that. I hope that every time there's somebody in this room that hadn't heard this before and said, maybe I'm going to do a little bit more. What I'd really like for y'all to do, and that's why I started by thanking Hector Flores, is I really wish I could create a whole bunch more Hector Floreses in this state and in this country. Give this man a hand for his life of hard work and commitment to the Latino community, to people of color, to Texans, to LULAC, and if I can get partisan, really to the Democratic Party and the democratic values that we stand for. Hector, when I first started to run, actually before I started to run, he was one of the people that went and he met me at IHOP, right? On East Chase, because he was from Dallas, and he knew I was in Fort Worth, and he says, I'll meet you somewhere in between, Ramon. But we have serious business. And it wasn't about whether, he already knew I was a committed voter and all these other things, and I was engaged in my community. He says, but I need you to re-engage and re-engage in an even greater way. You have to run for state rep. You have to. I'm not asking you if you want to. You have to. And it was people like him and Domingo Garcia, Sal Estino, Mario Perez, a whole bunch of our friends here. And a lot of other people have done some great work. Rosanetta right here. Great work in this community. Demonstrating to y'all, telling y'all stories about Dolores Huerta, bringing Dolores Huerta here to Fort Worth so that y'all can actually touch a legend. And somehow, Tarrant County is ground zero for the Texas Republican Party, and it's ground zero for the country. Because they know if Tarrant County were to really flip blue, and I'm not talking about barely getting by like Beto did or barely getting by the last, I'm talking about really, really getting there. This is where it has to start. And it has to start with each and every single one of us. And I know y'all they didn't call me out here to preach, but if they ask me to be here, just know I'm going to start out with a little preaching whether you like it or not. I'm going to do it, and I hope that y'all can respect me for it. So, y'all clearly know what's happening in Washington. Y'all see what's happening with the raids all over the country. Y'all see the abuses that are happening. You see the physical assaults that are happening on people. And when I say on people, these are not just undocumented, less than human people. These are our friends and our family. And they're not just people that are undocumented, they're U.S. citizens. That their rights are being violated, and including they're having to accept physical harm by people behind masks. And our country is becoming more and more dangerous every single day. And the threat is now from the law. Who'd have thought that we could get here this soon? I just had a conversation with Univision, a 1-hour panel that came out in San Antonio and Austin, and I sat with some Republican folks. And one of the guys on the Republican said, well, he's only doing exactly what he said he was going to do. What's wrong with y'all? Didn't he say he was going to have the largest mass deportation around? And y'all voted for him. And this guy said, well, you know, public, y'all just need to be a little bit more informed. Be ready. Have your lawyer. Wow. Not continue to work and keep living in this country that you've been living in for 30 years and paying taxes and doing all these things. Instead, go hire a lawyer. That's the next thing you need to do. Go out and sign an affidavit of heirship for your house so you can give it to your kids, or a power of attorney. Go do all these legal things just to continue to live. Somehow, there's a lot of people in this country that don't feel this urgency right now with what's happening. Or we've turned off the news. We've turned it off because we're getting flooded. It's exactly, they've been talking about this forever. Flood the zone, flood the zone, flood the zone. Put so much out there, they won't know what to look at. Am I worried about the courts? Am I worried about Medicaid? Am I worried about the big ugly ass bill? What am I worried about? Nobody knows. Somebody right now tell me, what's the number one thing you're afraid of? Every one of us will probably have a different answer. Every single one of us. And that's just what's happening on the national level. So of course, the little things that happen here in Texas, in the Texas legislature, most of the time don't really get seen or don't really get heard to the level that we should be paying attention to. So we had a 140-day session, and it was nasty. We fought in-state tuition to protect in-state tuition, and guess what? We killed it. And 2 days after session was out, the Department of Justice, Trump's Department of Justice, and our Attorney General, we can't beat Ken Paxton, people. We can't beat a crook. He makes all these indictments on other people, and he's got countless indictments himself, and we can't beat him. And because we couldn't beat him, in 6 hours, they got rid of in-state tuition for people that don't have legal status here. Kids that have already gone kindergarten through 12th grade, have proven to be accepted at a university, probably have scholarships that they're taking there. They took it away in 6 hours after we fought it in a 140-day session. I got to give credit to all my members. They fought it in committee, they fought it in calendars, we fought it on the floor, we fought it all year long, and we beat them. They wanted to take away your rights for bail on SJR 1, and then they wanted to take away your rights for bail on SJR 87, and we fought them, and guess what? We won. But here's the dirty part. For 30 plus years, we've had not a single Democratic statewide office holder. So there's people in Texas that have never been represented by a Democrat. Never. Potentially. Certainly not a statewide. So Dan Patrick, statewide, he's got full control. In the Senate, he controls what they talk about, what they don't talk about. Y'all heard about THC, right? He told all the members in the legislature, they said, look, we can regulate it. We don't have to close all these businesses down. We can do this, we can do that, we can do this. And he said, yeah, those are all great ideas. Let's talk about it. And then we'll ban it. That's how he told folks. So the governor didn't go try to work them. There was all kinds of other things that were going on. The governor just sits back and says, I'll just wait it out. I'll just wait for this 140-day session to end. And that's exactly what he did. waited for it to end, and then he says, guess who controls the special sessions? I do. I control 100% of the calendar. I control 100% of all the items that we're going to talk about. And if you want to talk about anything else, it's non-germane, so you can't bring it to the floor, so it doesn't even matter. So here we are. We're coming back. The THC and Lieutenant Governor and him are fighting now, right? They're fighting back and forth. Why are they fighting? Lieutenant Governor Dan says, oh, well, he never came to me. But at the same time, he was actually telling people, go ahead, come to me, but it doesn't matter because I'm not listening. So now Governor is reminding Lieutenant Governor who's boss. But along the way, who's going to pay? We are. We're going to pay. There's like 3 more anti-LGBT bills. There's anti-abortion bills. There's going to be more on bail probably. No telling what he's going to add. Oh, and then the worst of all, why you actually told me to come out here and talk about it. Redistricting. There's this product that every state representative has on their computer. It's called Red Apple. And we did redistricting in 2021. And we used Red Apple. Red Apple, I can look at my map, precinct by precinct, and I can tell you everything about the precinct you live in, Camille. I can tell you how much money people make there. I can tell how many of them are black, how many of them are brown. I can tell you how many of them voted for Cornyn, Paxton, Trump. I can tell you everything about them. I can say, give me the people that make over $100,000 voted in the Republican primary the last 3 cycles, anything. And by touch of a button, bam, right there. And it's shaded. This is the crazy thing. It's shaded. So it's a color like a pink or a brown or a green. So that if I want to create a district that's exactly the kind of people I want, all I have to do is just click on all those green ones or all the brown ones and make sure they match. And I can take Senate District 10, where Beverly Powell served, they used to be all in Tarrant County, and send it all the way to Brownwood, Texas. All the way to Abilene. Think about that. I was in we just got out of a 4-week trial in El Paso. MAUC, the Mexican American Legislative Caucus, has spent over $600,000 since 2010 to fight these lawsuits. I had to go testify. And they asked me, what's the worst part about Senate District 10? I said, well, they split the Latino community in half. They cut us at I-30, so now everybody on the north side, Senate District 9, everybody on the south side on Poly, Senate District 10. And then they said, so Latinos don't have a chance? I said, Latinos have no chance at a Senate district. I said, but it's even worse, is they took every black person for the most part in Tarrant County and moved them all the way out there. Think about, there's a thing called community of interest. Communities of interest mean we have something in common, right? Maybe we're all low income predominantly. Maybe it's our school district. We're all in Fort Worth ISD. That would be a community of interest. Maybe we're all African American. Community of interest. What does the black and brown community of Everman, Forest Hill, Southeast Fort Worth, Mansfield, Arlington, Southwest Fort Worth, what do they have in common with the people in Abilene and Brownwood? Nothing. So they have full control of the maps and the technology to draw them in a way that I hate to say it, they're going to kick our ass. And there's what we can do about it. Nothing. 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 Because they control the Senate, they control the House, and they have Governor Abbott doing anything that Trump is asking him to do, including what should be absolutely unconstitutional. We know it's unconstitutional, but they have all the levers at their hand. All of them. So I'm not going to tell you to give up hope. I'm just telling you it's going to get even harder now. Because their message is going to be that the people of Texas have spoken, look at the results, more Republicans won. But they won't tell you they won because they created districts that were impossible for us to win in. And, yeah, they're cheating. Exactly. They're cheating. They have to cheat. It's like showing up to a fight Picking your team. All right, you choose, then I choose, then you choose, then I choose. And then after you look around and you go, wait a minute. Hey, you over on the sideline. Come on over here, come help me. They're not even part of the team. Oh, now you want 6 on 5 because you have to do it that way. They can't stand and fight. Redistricting is going to be a mess. And I know that we all have prayed for the families in Kerrville. You know, but even though there was a bill to create protection mechanisms, I've told people it really shouldn't be that hard when you think about it. When there's a hurricane, we have to prepare for it, right? When there's a tornado, we have to prepare for it. There's alert systems and so on. But you know the difference in a tornado and a hurricane and this flood? We don't know where the hurricane's going to hit. We don't know where the tornado's going to hit. But we know where the river is. Anybody who's in construction knows you can put a float, and if it rises above 15 feet, hey, everybody downstream, get out of the way. It's 2025. We have the technology. We have alerts, but it's not a priority. It's not. Good people need to get reelected. And I'm going to tell you all this. In the last 12 years, I've seen terrible people get elected and good people leave. Especially good Republicans. The Republicans, they used to go there for the right reasons. They went there because they wanted to create infrastructure and create a system for generations to come. Those people are gone. The few little ones like Charlie Guerin that we still have, they're calling them rhinos. And they're ready to get rid of them at all costs. To get people that just fall in line. That take orders from Donald Trump. Last year in vouchers, we had the votes. We had the votes to win. And like I told folks, one call did it all. Donald Trump called, they voted. Right now, Donald Trump says, hey, I'm scared of what's going to happen with this big, beautiful bill. Cutting Medicaid like this, people are going to find out about it. And the polling is negative, but I got my tax cuts. So I need to make sure that I don't lose the House. And they went after 4 seats, guess what? All black and brown seats in the redistricting. So we're going to go back to 4 seats, Mark Vesey's seat, the seat that where you're sitting right now. This is one of them, District 33. They said it's an intentional racial gerrymandered seat, that it was created as a coalition district so that black and brown people can have a chance to elect somebody of their interest. And now they're saying that's illegal. Here, listen to this real quick. The U.S., the DOJ said it's illegal that you created Sylvia Garcia's district, Latina, Mark Vesey's district, African American, Al Green's seat, and formerly Sylvester Turner's seat. All black and brown people. Okay? Those are the seats they're going after. Why? Because we created coalition districts. And they made it all about race. But in the redistricting case that we just went through in El Paso, what they stated was, we drew these maps race blind. We drew these maps race blind. They defended themselves for 4 weeks saying, we did these maps race blind. Remember that shading thing I talked about? They said, we never used it. Never checked race. But yet the Department of Justice is saying you created it using race. You can't have it both ways, Governor Abbott. So Mount just re-entered and asked to open that lawsuit again. And we're going to take their ass back to court. We're going to take Joan Huffman, we're going to take her back to court, and the court should hear that. And hopefully they see exactly what this is going on, and the courts have the courage to do the right thing. Right now, it's about the only thing that we have is our courts. And as much as Donald Trump changed the Supreme Court, I want to thank Joe Biden for all the justices and the judges that he put throughout the entire country. Because without the work that he did and Chuck Schumer did, we would be in a terrible position right now. We'd be in a terrible position. Normally I make y'all laugh. I had to make y'all laugh one time today. Thank y'all for that. I know, he said that I could have as much time as I want. Y'all don't want to keep hearing me. I want to open it up for some questions. I hope y'all have a few. But look, I just want y'all to know, it is not easy being in office right now. It is not easy going down there and knowing that the words that come out of your mouth, they just go right over people's heads and their decisions have been made. The only way things like that are going to change is if we give them the biggest surprise that they've ever seen, and that's that our next election in 2026, in the primary and in the general, that they see people that have never ever voted before. We have 3 million non-voting Texans. 3 million non-voting Texans. But here's the interesting thing. That's just the ones that are registered and are not voting. So what does that tell you? That tells you that there are people that believe in their civic responsibility, otherwise they wouldn't have gotten registered to vote. So they're already registered to vote. We just need to help them. Grab their hand, take them to vote, make sure that there's precinct chairs throughout all of District 19, all of Tarrant County, and saying, I want to serve in a different way. And I want to extend my family. The reach that I have with my kids that I talked about in the beginning, I want to extend it out a little bit more. I want to reach out to your family. And I want to help you get your kids registered. Or I'm going to give you the form so that you can do it. And I'm going to tell every senior citizen, no tengas miedo. Don't run away. You have the right to vote by mail from the comfort of your own home. It's your right. And I want to ask a young person who's not a senior citizen, please help your mom and your dad get their mail-in ballot and teach them how to do it. Don't mark their ballot. Just show them on a mock ballot. Have a little bit of cafe and leche with them and say, Mom, Dad, let's do this right now. You don't have to go to the polls. You don't have to get nervous about the way you're going to feel when you go in there. Aquí estoy. Yo te ayudo. We're going to have to surprise them like they never saw it coming if we expect to save our country. Thank y'all. I'm going to open this up with some questions. I'm going to start out here and then I'm going to go back to... Yes, sir.
Well, you know, it happened in 1920, 30, and 40. It was Adolf Hitler with the Nazis. They had concentration camps, and we're seeing it today here in America, where people are going through hard times and struggling, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. But the good thing about it is we need unity as a family. Get together, Black Americans, Mexican Americans, Hispanics, everybody together, united, and fight against injustice because they're breaking our constitutional rights.
Absolutely.
And we're Americans. We're not animals. We're not dogs. We're human beings. And we're made by the Creator, so we belong here. This is our land.
Amen. Y'all have already seen the jails being built. Y'all have seen them all over the state. Y'all know private prisons are about to make a killing. And you know, the legislature is actually doing a lot of that as well and funding those. And it's all on our dime, y'all. It's on our dime. That's what people don't understand. Even already on the county jails, our county jails are full. There's many bills that we fought this year that we're going to demand that county jails pick people up for trespassing and not give them reimbursement.
I was going to say that yesterday a federal judge in California actually had an injunction against ICE for the way they're conducting business. Now, the way that I understand it now, because of the lawsuits that are percolating from different parts of the country, the only way that it can have impact for one jurisdiction nationwide if it's a class action. So the federal judges are smart enough to know, let's make it a class action. That way it has impact across the country. But there's one judge that just implemented that, I think it was yesterday. We're headed to Long Beach, California on August 6th through the 9th. That's our national convention there. And we're going to be here next year, 2026. We're in Fort Worth, our national law.
Yeah.
I want to recognize Terry Mesa. Terry Mesa, our state rep.
My colleague Terry Mesa.
I crossed rivers and county lines to get to be here this morning.
Yeah.
I'm a member of MALC, the Mexican American Legislative Caucus, and I just want to tell you how proud I am of the job that your state rep, Ramon Romero, did this past session, and so you should be proud of him too. as you kind of already alluded to, we were outnumbered, but I want you to know that we didn't lay down and roll over and play dead and just say, oh, they've got the votes, there's nothing we can do about it. We used every tool, didn't we?
Yeah.
In the toolbox, points of order, a lot of great things that Ramon did as the mountain chair to fight the anti-immigrant bills. We had a lot of anti-immigrant bills, didn't we, Ramon?
Absolutely, we did.
And
Yeah,
so-
Terry's a big part of the fight. I mean, I tell you that we can all show up, but you know, the problem is how many of y'all want to show up to a fight where there's 88 of them and 62 of us? You know?
Well, that's what there was, and we put up a good fight, didn't we? And
We
we
did.
did, and we did do some good things, and we did defeat some bad bills.
Thank you, Terry. I
Thanks to
appreciate
you.
Thank you so much. Y'all, thank you, Terry. Representing Dallas County. We're going to go here, then we're going to come right back here. Okay.
I thank you for all the work you do. I'm Christina Elvitar. I have a comment and a question for you, specifically about ICE. I own several restaurants here in Fort Worth, and we had an incident last week where some plainclothes officers came in under the ruse of looking for a warrant. I can give you more information on that later, but wanting to look at my staff, particularly my male staff, and after asking several questions to some community leaders in my area of South Fort Worth where I have a business, they informed me that ICE had deputized bounty hunters and other officers to act as ICE agents and do some of those duties. And come to find out that the men that we had in our restaurant, I thought were Fort Worth PD, but my husband kind of did a little bit of investigation, and they were from the Texas Public Department of Safety. And so, have you heard of that, and that they're getting like $1,200 per person that they bring in that is not documented? Because I feel like we were being targeted, especially being a business of hospitality, when our doors are open and anybody can come in, and we have more of that, welcoming nature where we talk to people.
Yeah.
And before you even know it, they're already in.
Well, thank you for that question. I think that if there's lawyers in the room that can answer that, but I can tell you, yeah, I've heard of it. We've heard of it. We've seen it on Instagram. We know that there's people out there, the bounty hunters. Do I know that they're getting $1,200? I don't know. I haven't seen a check. I haven't seen a payment, but I have heard of that. And again, it's all over Instagram. I mean, you look it up, and there's all over people that are not with the proper clothes or anything. But I can tell you this: the executive order from Donald Trump came down, and your governor, Governor Abbott, said, my law enforcement will work with ICE. And that means DPS. That means the Texas National Guard. If he wants to loan them, he can. Maybe, like we've seen, like, okay, you want to work overtime? Go work overtime. You'll get overtime by working with ICE. I mean, I think everything's on the table for them. This vigilante force, that was the former bill that we fought last year. Terry can tell you about it. That was a border force that they wanted to create that absolutely said they could spend Texas taxpayer dollars on hiring vigilantes. Untrained. Not trained by any law or code, and certainly not trained in how to identify someone that has legal status. And I can say this, a lot of the bills that came about this year were going after the word illegal immigrant. But they didn't even know how to define someone who's here illegally. They said basically anybody who's here that didn't check in or didn't come over with proper paperwork. Well, that leaves out every dreamer. That leaves out every person who's ever been a victim of domestic violence and now has status because they have a court date. That leaves every person that has temporary protected status. So many different statuses that they didn't put into the legislation. And that's exactly the way they want it. They would ask us, hey, that's not it. And like, yeah, like, where's your lawyers? I know a lawyer wrote this up. How could you write a piece of legislation that's going to become law, that's going to affect people in a way? So just imagine, all dreamers. Suddenly they get arrested, no bail. Your child, no bail. Straight to ICE. Even though that person is legally DACA. Because they didn't want to put it in their legislation. So like, I mean, the answer to your question is, I can't prove it, but I believe that it's probably happening.
I just have a very simple question. because you've been talking about redistricting, and you said that redistricting is going to affect District 33. District 33 is a federal district, right? And our representative for District 33 is Mr. Mark Beasy. The office of Mr. Beasy is right here in La Gran Plaza. So, how come Mr. Beasy is not here today to give us an orientation? He's already asking for money, you know, to, I guess, to put together the legal representation. That's one thing, because Mark Beasy is your personal friend, right? And it might be a personal friend to Mr. Flores. That's my question. Why Mr. Beasy is not here today? That's one thing.
Hold on.
Hold on. The other thing is, you're talking about legal representation. We have outstanding lawyers that have been fighting this issue for 10, 30 or 40 years, like Nina Perales from Malta. Why we do not have somebody with that caliber here present today to give us an orientation about what is going on?
Well, thank you. So, I know Nina Perales well. I know Maldef well. They were in my office all year long. I can tell you that Nina Perales and I are a part of the team. Mal, the House Democratic Caucus, there's Fair Maps, Texas. All of those groups have been fighting. We just got out of the redistricting lawsuit in El Paso. So those folks are here. I can't speak for Nina. I know how busy she is. I call her. I hope she calls me back within 2 days. To ask, I know she's busy court hearing after court hearing with what just happened, with what was revealed by what Governor Abbott said and what the DOJ said. I can assure you she's probably got her head down with her team right now, really focused on fighting this legislation. As far as Mark Vesey is concerned, I can't speak for Mark Vesey. I don't know where he is.
I can respond to that. We did invite him. However, his calendar did not permit the availability to be here this morning, but he was contacted. So that's why he's not here.
Okay. But look, Mark's district, just like Sylvia Garcia and all the other districts I've listed, they are districts. They're districts that are coalition districts that they can easily stretch out, and y'all will see in their demonstration map which are going to happen immediately.
Buenos dias y welcome. Most of you know that I live in Dallas County. I actually live in Jasmine Crockett's district, where I participated in a town hall where she committed that she would provide buses for her district representatives to go to Austin and to hopefully flood the Capitol with people who are protesting and saying, no, we won't abide by this. How helpful would that be? And should all the congressmen, especially the ones that are targeted, do that type of effort? Would it be helpful? And would it be helpful to have people like that there, or would it hurt with this representative that we have, with this legislature that we have?
Okay, so the easy answer is they're going to vote like Republicans. I heard it over and over again. Republicans are going to do Republican things. And in this case, Republican things are exactly what Donald Trump has asked them to do, which is save me in this redistricting fight, through this redistricting fight to gain more seats in the U.S. House. I cannot risk this very small margin. I don't want people fighting back against me. I want a greater margin of victory, so he's going to do it. Does it help? Hell yeah, it helps. What it helps is when you show up and you pack the house, and you pack it outside and inside, and people see the demonstration and they see the energy, they create memories and they say, why wasn't I there? What can I do? Can I do more? I want to hear my voice heard. And if you have a child who's about to turn 17, that's a perfect example of how you take your child down there to the house and say, watch them, listen to the debate. You'll see it's real debate. And then you'll see Republicans not listen to any of it. And they'll go push their button and they're going to push it green to accept it. Because they're going to do exactly what they're being told by Washington, D.C. right now. So does it make a difference? Yes. Should we tell people, oh, it's over? No, it's never over, because we got 2026 coming up. And they can maybe gerrymander a couple more seats, But we can win every single one by surprise if they didn't do a good enough job. One of the things to keep in mind, when they dilute these Democratic districts and they pack us, they're going to weaken some of their other districts. And that's why we have to be ready in those districts that are weakened, and we have to go after them. But it's not just the congressional seats. It's every state house seat. And by golly, there's no reason why we can't win statewide governor or lieutenant governor. We have to be willing to commit to winning statewide. I think you probably want to kick me off already, because otherwise I'll keep going. Thank y'all, everybody, for the time that y'all have offered me, and I appreciate your patience with me and listening. Thank you very much. I love you all.
The fact that, we're slicing and spicing the districts because our growth, Hispanic and black growth, has been dramatic in the last 4 or 5 years. And so obviously they want to compact the districts so that we cannot increase our numbers in Congress.
In the last 20 years, we've grown 10 million people. 5 million of that are Latinos. We're half of the growth over the last 20 years. And instead of growing in districts, they're taking them away. Think about that. Instead of growing House districts, we're losing them. They're taking them away through gerrymandering. And look,
LULAC has sued them for the last 40 years.
LULAC will sue them, MAP will sue them, MALDEF will sue them. So contribute to LULAC if you can. Contribute to MALDEF. These are our great groups. The ACLU. There's a lot of groups out there fighting right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here so much. Thank you for the report. I'd like to especially recognize a couple of people that are here. Estela Martinez, who's helping us with the convention. Thank you for being here this morning. The reason we're coming here, and Salvador Carrillo, our former state district director. I don't know who your local new director is, so. Hector? Oh, congratulations for being the district director. Our new district director here in Fort Worth. De volada. 3 minutos. Congratulations. Pátale. You're going to say hello and goodbye. Hold on.
Hola, buenos días a todos. Good morning, everybody. Ramon, thank you so much for everything that you do. I'm here with Joanna. Good morning, everyone. We're extremely excited that after working very, very hard, I think it's been over 10 years that we tried to bring the LULAC National Conference to Fort Worth. And it's been hard because sometimes we're not together, we don't work together. But finally, this last year, we were able to get them to confirm Fort Worth as their destination for the National Convention. It's going to be in June 2026. It's actually going to be right at the beginning of the World Cup. So it's going to be an amazing opportunity because I have to tell you, we negotiate really great room rates, so it's government per diem rates. So they're going to have the cheapest room rates in the entire city because it's right at the beginning of the World Cup. But we're going to need a lot of help. The local committee, Joanna, is in charge of the welcome reception. And we have to do a big welcome and show everybody in the city and nationally that we are getting closer to the 40% of Hispanics in Fort Worth. 36, bet you were more. But we have to work together and show when national conference come to our city, the name of Fort Worth starts ringing in a lot of places and more people pay attention. But we all, it's not the time to argue, it's the time to show, be proactive, be there. They're going to be in downtown, in the convention center. One of the key things that we did, they're going to be in hotels all over the downtown, small room blocks, but it's going to look like they're taking over downtown. So that's going to be really good. So please, I just wanted to make sure that everybody's aware. And we have another national convention coming in September. I will share with you after September. But getting Hispanic National Conference in our city brings a lot of attention to our needs, to our community, and it makes us work together. So I hope that everybody is going to work with Joanna, and we're here to support, to guide, and to really showcase. my last thing, we want to really invite everybody. We've been working very hard since COVID to start developing certain Hispanic heritage events throughout the city. And we have not concentrated on, it's just so they invite you come and support so we can start promoting LULAC at the event. Fiestas Patrias in the soccer.
Good morning, everyone. I know we're in time crunch. Your local District 21 will be the host for the first day of the National Convention next year, which will be on Thursday, June 17th. Salvador Carrillo is the chair of the committee that's working on that. We are going to be looking for, we're currently looking for venues. We're going to be looking for caterers. We're going to be looking for entertainment. And if any of you have any ideas or you want to be on the committee to help us put this amazing first day, the opening celebration for the convention next year, please reach out to myself or Sal. We'll be sitting over here, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize Anael Huevanos in the house. Thank you for being here. And now it's a distinct pleasure to bring to the floor Dr. Camille Rodriguez, who is your trustee for District 1. Dr. Rodriguez was born here in Fort Worth, Texas, went to school here, was able to go to college, get herself her degrees, and has been practicing how many years? 25 years practicing, and also giving back to the community by serving on the board and helping all those young kiddos go on to college and university and become very supportive members of the community. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Hector, for having me, and it's hard to follow Ramon, but it is very good to be here, and I'd like to welcome again Trustee Anuel Nuevanos, who's a colleague of mine on the Forward ISD School Board. We are working for y'all. We're making sure our kids get educated and we get access to everything the kids need. And I'd like to thank Stella Martinez also for all she does, and Cinco de Mayo event that at the museum, in the museum district. She invites a lot of students. We have the mariachis, we have a lot of performers, and that's the city of Fort Worth collaborating with the school district, and we need to continue to do that. And you mentioned redistricting. The district I represent is District 1, which used to be Northside, Diamond Hill, and Loma, a predominantly Latino district. In 2020, it was redistricted because the representative then, people on the committee told me they wanted to get rid of him. So they included the West Side, they included Colonial Country Club, they included Crestwood, they included Monticello, because those are high dollar, rich community members, and they would pay to have a representative that didn't represent the Latino community. The schools I represent are the North Side and Trimble Tech, but the attendance zone is Crestwood, Colonial Country Club. So eventually they tried hard. They tried really hard to get rid of me. And they were very well funded, but we work hard. Ramon helped a lot. The Latinos work. We may not say a lot, but we'll go and work and knock on doors. And that's exactly what everybody did for me. So I appreciate everybody who supported me with that election. So thank you. But now I'll go back to the school district. We are pushing hard on literacy. We are trying to get everything focused on literacy because our kids need to read. Our kids need to read starting in kindergarten. We need to grow them. By the time they get to 3rd grade, they should be on grade level. They should be reading at a 4th grade level, 5th grade level. But we have to start with early childhood education. Please get your kids, your grandkids, your nephews, your nieces, your neighbors to go to an accredited child care center. If not, there's the libraries, the community centers have events. Read a book to your child. You don't have to send them if you can't afford child care. Read to them every day. Make sure they watch stuff on TV that they're gonna learn their colors, they're gonna learn their alphabets. Watch Sesame Street, watch Blue's Clues, just things, Dora the Explorer. Watch things that are gonna broaden their mind, that are gonna teach them things. There's things on the computers, on the phone, that they can learn how to read, learn their colors. We need to learn, they have to do their math. These are things that we can do as a community, reach out, volunteer at the school and read to the kindergarten students. It's fun to go to the classes. I've read several times, and Dr. Seuss, there's a lot of really good books that are Spanish and English, and the kids are engaged. They ask questions, they listen. We need to do that. We need our community to stay involved, to get involved. We don't need everything going to the west side. I am saying that we are finally getting a new middle school. It was a lot of conversations, but Kirkpatrick Middle School will be closed and combined with J.P. Elder. There will be a brand new middle school, and I don't believe we've had a new school in the north side since Rose Herrera was on the school board 20-some years ago. Washington Heights was the last one about 5 years ago. So we are going to have to consolidate some schools, we're going to have to close some schools, but it's not because that's what we want to do. It's fiscally responsible. We have lost over 12,000 students since 2019. You cannot keep having schools with 300 students, which costs $15,000 to educate each child, as opposed to having a school with 600 students, and it'll cost about $9,000 to educate the students. There's a lot of difference, and when you have the smaller schools, you don't have the mariachi programs, you don't have extra teachers, you don't have nurses, you share them because it's a smaller school. So we are trying as a board with Aniel and all of us having tough conversations to make sure the schools and the students receive what they need.
You can hear it back.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So if you can quiet down so we can hear the speaker, we appreciate it.
So, we're doing a lot of things. We're coming up on the new school year, which starts August the 12th. And come visit your schools. We welcome community members in our schools. Come read to them. Come drop your kids off at school. Stay a while. Come have lunch. We just need the community to be there. We're going to close 2 schools starting this school year. One of them, SS Dillo, it's a structural issue. We couldn't do much about it, but over until 2029, we'll be closing 18 schools. So it's a gradual thing. We're getting community involvement. If y'all have questions, please come and ask. You can meet, we're having programs where the students, that when they're going, like the Kirkpatrick Elementary, their students will be going to Washington Heights and Dolores Huerta, 2 newer schools. They're gonna meet the teacher, they're gonna have different activities so the parents and the students will be aware of their new schools. So we're doing everything we can, but we are losing a lot of money. Property tax is basically the only way we get money. And the state legislature, not Ramon, but they are having unfunded mandates. It's very good that we have police officers in every school, but they have to pay for them. The school district is taking up for that. I think they get $15,000 a year. I do not know any police officer that would work for $15,000 a year. So the school district, the city of Fort Worth has to bring up that money. So we're at a budget deficit of about $40,000 because we have to stay competitive and give our teachers raises. So there's a lot of money going out and not a lot of money coming in, but our priority is teaching our kids, making sure our kids get the education they need, giving teachers raises and giving them the professional development they need to want to go to school every day, want to teach, want to make a happy environment for our students. So that's all I have for now. Are there any questions? Or Aniel, you have anything to add?
the federal government froze some money, so we may have to see that affect our schools. So, like we were saying, we need more involvement because we have less money to be for education. We don't know how much that will impact us as of now, but it was going to have an impact on public education.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. The federal government is freezing all Title money. So Title I through Title IV, which dealt with bilingual education, after-school programs, migrant education, all that money is frozen. So a lot of that goes with some of our bilingual teachers, but it also goes to after-school programs, which we know can keep our kids involved after school. Hopefully they will go on and do better and not just be around and for bad influences. So there's a lot of moving parts. We don't know what the voucher program is going to do for us. We don't know how many students we're going to lose for that, but we are losing a lot of money, and we're doing everything we can to focus on literacy and focus on the kids' education and make sure they still get a quality education with less funds. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Dr. Rodriguez. I have two questions or concerns. One of them is with all the Fort Worth ISD school closings, isn't there a potential civil rights violation against the black and brown students in Fort Worth? Because that's where those schools are being targeted. I mean, the majority of those schools that are being closed are black and brown schools. So isn't there a potential possibly parents unite, file a lawsuit violating civil rights for those communities? And another thing is the constant issue that I have with Fort Worth ISD. I need our Latino representatives on the school board to be very vocal and be abrasive and fighting hard for our community, because the majority of those Latinos, our Latino student population is the majority. It's like 66, 67%. And so I need y'all to be vocal and fight for us, fight for our communities, because also we don't have representation in our schools. The majority of our schools don't have Latino leadership, don't have principals, vice principals, faculty, staff. Our students don't see themselves in the representation in these schools. And I've been saying this for a long time when I was on the Racial Equity Committee. Been fighting hard. People have criticized me for being very controversial because I'm fighting for my community, but I still see it to this day. So when we talk about kids not reading at the third grade level, we also need to think about the families that they're coming from. They're coming from immigrant families. So who's reaching out to those families? How are we doing the outreach to help those families to get their kids to read? I mean, so it goes way beyond telling kids, oh, we need to get them to read. We need to do more extensive work and do extensive work within the community into those families, because it's hard. And especially right now with our families being targeted, it is very hard. So we need to hold ourselves accountable, but I need our representatives on the Fort Worth ISD School Board District to fight hard and be very vocal. Let the community know what's going on. Tell us how we can help you. Tell us what we need to do. But we're at a point where it's really going to be bad. Coming in this next year, it's going to be bad. So I just wanted to voice those concerns.
No, I understand and I appreciate that. And we are focusing on that. We're going to where the families are to register their kids for school. We're having enrollment classes at the community center, at the library, so you don't have to come to the school. And we also have parent engagement specialists, which is something we kept with the COVID money that we had. So the parent engagement specialists, they will go and knock on your door and say, why are you not coming to school? Is it because you don't have transportation? Let me work on that. Is it because no one's there to wake you up in the morning? We will do that. So we have parent engagement specialists at every elementary school to help our kids come to school every day. I mean, people don't realize there's a lot of wraparound services that the Fort ISD provides. We have food pantries at several of our schools. We provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner. because sometimes that's the only meal that our students receive. We know that there are issues that some people on the west side of town do not appreciate, but I know what happens in this community. I know what happens in our schools. I have lived in this community for 57 years. I go to school, I went to school in the neighborhood, I go to church, I go to the grocery store. I talk to people every day. So we need to reach out, and we need to make the other people on the board understand that the schools in Aniel's area and in my area have different problems, and we need to address those, and we are trying very hard to do that. And I am vocal. I have said a lot of things. How is this affecting our teachers? We want to recruit bilingual education. There is a shortage. Now, with this federal government, they're not paying for us to recruit in other countries and bring in, and there's not enough money. You get a bilingual stipend, but the suburban schools will pay more. So people want to come here, and we get our teachers, and then they want to move up to assistant principals and principals, which is great, so then people can see them in leadership positions. But then we don't have the bilingual teachers. We don't have the Latino teachers. And then once you're a principal, you want to move up to an executive director, because we want Latinos in that position too. But we need a pipeline. We need a pipeline where the teachers can move up and get the promotion to be a superintendent eventually. But we are trying to do that. We are trying to get a pipeline for our teachers, for our assistant principals and our principals, so they can go out and be Latino leaders in our schools.
What's the Fort Worth School Board considering to do in preparing for the coming year to protect our schools and our students and their parents from ICE and other groups?
We have had that discussion when Chuck came into place, and I told the superintendent back then, as soon as he was sworn in, what are we doing for our students? What are we doing for our schools? Because it's happening, and it has. So we have told the principals, the office workers, what they need to do. If somebody comes in, they have to have a warrant signed by a judge. It can't just be, oh, we're looking for Jose Martinez. No. Why do you want them? What is the issue? And they're supposed to call the legal department, because they're well-versed in what can and cannot happen. We're not letting any random people into our schools and take our students or our staff. That is not going to happen.
Buenos dias. My question to you is, we just heard a passion plea from our state representative this morning, all of us to get out there and do our job to get people registered to vote. By state law, every superintendent and every principal of every high school is automatically a deputy voter registrar. How are you holding your principals, especially, and the superintendent accountable to make sure that they're doing their job as mandated by state law, that they register all 18-year-olds that they work with?
We do that. We have every high school student, 17 going on 18 in their government class, has to register to vote. That is part of their curriculum. That is part of what they want to do. We also have buses to take the registered kids to go vote. Some of that other side challenged us about why are we spending school funds on our school buses to take these kids to register, because most of them were going to vote for black and brown candidates, and people don't like that. People don't want us to vote. That's the bottom line. They do not want us to vote, and when the school districts help, they try to make waves. But the school district stood firm, and we still have that. And there's an organization that pays for the buses. We provide the buses and the bus drivers, but there are organizations out there, I can't remember the name of them, but they provide the money to get them there. So we are very supportive of that. We want our kids to vote. We want them to know about the government system, because the Republicans are trying to take over, starting from the school board, city council, and it's happened, listen to Keller and Southlake. They're trying to do it here in Fort Worth. They tried hard, but it didn't happen. So we need to continue to go out there, we need to continue to vote. We cannot say, oh, it doesn't matter, my kids don't go to school, my kids have already graduated. But this is the future of our community. These are our kids, these are our black and brown people that we need to support, and we need to vote.
Yes. Hi, good morning. My question is, I hear a lot this morning, you directing a lot of negativity to the west side. However, a lot of voters predominantly supported you from the west side. And specifically, I had a question pertaining to North High Mountain, the closing of the schools. So all the way up until just recently, North High Mountain on all three options was scheduled to close. And now North High Mountain is remaining open, yet here in the north side, we're losing not one, but two of our schools. Three, thank you, three. And predominantly...
What's the third one? No, that's Diamond Hill. That's not the district I represent.
Okay, but the north side is. And specifically in this community, our children need accessible schools due to transportation, due to our parents working early, etc., etc. So I would like an explanation, why is North High Mountain remaining open, and why are we losing now two schools in the community that you and I both live in? Thank you.
If you were from the community more than 2 years, and if you would go around and talk positive and not negative, and the people who supported me 3 years ago supported my opponent, why? Because I care about this community, I care about our students. I don't care about what they wanted, the contracts they wanted. I cared about our schools, and that's why they didn't support me, because I didn't stand pat, I didn't bow down. They came after me hard. Yes, I can hear you. They came after me, and so did you. You wanted the schools to be open. And then when they started giving you money, you're like, oh, no, they need to be closed, they need to be closed. Several people came to me and said, she said they need to be open, but now she's changing her mind.
Please answer the question, why is North High Mountain remaining open? And
North High Mountain is remaining open because that is a dual language school. It is over capacity. It's not a low enrollment like Kirkpatrick Elementary and Kirkpatrick Middle. Those two schools are not in good shape. They do not have the ADA compliances. Neither does Elder. Those are old schools. So a teacher told me recently, a student that's handicapped in a wheelchair cannot go to the second floor because the elevator's always broken. The elevator's always broken because of supply chain issues, and elevators are closed. So I like a brand new state-of-the-art school that our community can be proud of on the grounds of J.P. Elder to replace two old, dilapidated schools. So our students can be proud of where they go. They don't want leaky roofs. They don't want chairs that are broken. They don't want a gym that has no windows. I prefer a state-of-the-art school. You may like the older schools because you don't know any better, but state-of-the-art schools are what we need. And McLean Middle School is getting a new school. In 5 years, when if it was voted down about not getting a new school, they're like, well, why are they always getting schools?
Hello, my name is Janet Matron. I'm president of League of Women Voters of Tarrant County. My question is regarding TEA wanting to take over Fort Worth ISD. And so, what can we do? What can the parents, families of Fort Worth ISD students do to combat this? Because when they take over Fort Worth ISD, we won't have elected board anymore. They'll get rid of y'all. They'll have their own hand-picked by the governor commission that'll be running the schools. We won't know if they'll keep the superintendent or not. What can the local community do to keep Fort Worth ISD controlled by the people that the voters in Tarrant County and Fort Worth vote for? We don't want to have somebody else taking care of our schools that don't know anything about what our community needs.
I agree, and unfortunately, Fourth ISD has been stagnant for 20 years. We've had mild improvements, some declines, and we're not doing enough for the black and brown students. They are 64% Latino students and about 21% African American students. If we address the black and brown students, we would not have those issues. And they're taking away money from that. If the state takes over, this is a process that started 7 years ago.
Back to my region. A while back, you guys put out the list of the 25 schools that you were closing. I contacted Wallace Bridges, your colleague, and asked him why you guys felt like you need to spend $7 million for somebody to come out of Alabama and tell you which schools to close. His answer was not good. His answer was not good. You need to answer the question. You have been voted to represent. You talk about federal dollars, that's why you're not getting them. You waste $7 million for an individual to come out of Alabama and tell you which schools to close. That makes absolutely no sense.
It wasn't 7 million, it was a considerable amount. It was about 2 million, and it was a facilities master plan which needs to be done at least every 10 years. It hasn't been done for 20 years. So how can we close a school when we don't know what we have? This consulting firm walked every inch of every school. They knew what needed to be done. They knew how many students could be in each classroom. Right now, we have about 2,500 classrooms that are empty. We can't continue to do that. But this was a very intense, thorough facilities master plan that took over a year. They went to every single school and they had a green, a yellow, and a red dashboard. This school, the yellow schools are going to need significant money, millions of dollars to keep up with standards. In 5 years, this school is going to be a critical school that is going to need more money. There's not the money. We did this systematically. There has been 3 or 4 bonds without doing a facilities master plan. So we had to go back just to go forward.
One more question. Next question.
Hi, I'm Arnoldo from the North Side. We've written a blog about you at the North Side community, and I am meeting with a representative from Forward ISD on Monday. They're interested in what I perceive as taking hold of a narrative, because we're the first publisher of a magazine in the district, and we're in a growth phase right now where we're going to reach every home in the North Side. That's our goal. And so with that kind of power, I think Forward ISD is trying to take hold of a narrative. So my question for the community is, what kinds of questions do you have for Forward ISD that we can help you have a narrative in that story too? Because when you have power of a narrative and you can reach every home, that's a lot of power. And it's something that we created so that our community and the grassroots level can have power. Another thing that I want to add is that just because we're skin folk doesn't mean we're kin folk. We're not a monolith. When we say, we use the word Latino a lot, but we don't all think the same. There's a lot of Malinches in the community, if you know what that means. And if you don't know what that means, that says a lot too. Because they're speaking Spanish over there, and that wall over here is English, okay? So our community is very divided. So what are you doing to address our real community in the North Side, which is 48% Spanish speaking at home? What are we doing to reach them? And that goes to everybody up here, because that's, you know, we have Representative Ramon Romero also talking about how we don't talk to our communities. Well, our communities, we're not even speaking the same language to them. So like, how are we communicating together? That's my question. How are you reaching the real Northsiders that speak Spanish and are 48% Latino?
We are
Spanish?
reaching out. We have everything English and Spanish, text messages, emails, communication, English and Spanish. We have bilingual teachers at every school, clerks. We try to make sure everybody understands. There's over 100 languages spoken in the Forward Diocese, not just Spanish. There's Swahili, Farsi, Mandarin. We have to address a lot of different languages, and we are doing that. It's not as easy as you would say, but we are doing a lot for the Latino community. I am doing everything I can to make sure everybody feels welcome and everybody is coming out. The magazine is a great idea to get everybody involved. And when we name this new middle school, we need the community to come out and give names, ask what they'd like to see in their school, what amenities we want. This is all a community project. We need everybody to be involved, if you have kids or you don't have kids. But if you live in the community, your voice is needed.
Thank you so much, Camille. Hey, I just want to say something, because I can really sense a lot of frustration. And we should be frustrated. We should absolutely be frustrated. You can be pissed, you can be everything you want. But one thing I know that we shouldn't be doing is blaming each other. I mean, y'all can sit here and pretend like election season hasn't ended, but it's ended. If you lost an election, come back next time. If you want to hold people accountable, hold them accountable. Go to the meetings, go do those things, but stop blaming each other. Because if y'all want to blame somebody, go down to Austin and look at the Republican legislature and look at what they've been doing for public funding for schools. That's where you need to start. We are not even back where we were in 2011, y'all. If you want to talk about all these resources that we should have and be sending it back, I'm telling you, they are cutting it off every single day. And we act like we need to blame each other right here. Don't blame each other right here. Go adopt a kid. Go be big brothers and sisters. Go mentor somebody. Go to Northside High School and tell the golf coach that you want to go mentor one of those kids. Go to Public High School where the girls made it to district for the first time in their first year ever doing golf, ever. Teach them that there's more than just a school. There's so much that we can do. But blaming each other is a big problem. There is an absolute attack on public schools from the legislature. We just passed a voucher bill. We gave them $1 billion and it can grow to $8 billion. How many more schools are they going to close? A lot more. Y'all are arguing about 3 schools right now. It's going to be 10 later on. Now you stop blaming each other. There's only one way to win, and that's change your representation where it matters most, and that's from the top down, not right here at the bottom. Stop blaming each other.
Thank you very much. On a real note, I'd like to give bienvenida and a welcome to a LULAC couple that decided they're moving from Florida to Fort Worth, Texas, and bringing their company here. I'd like to invite them to stand up and we welcome them. Valeria and Baruch coming from Florida. They just moved into. I thought it was worth for you to know them so that you know they're here to stay.
What a day, and welcome to Texas. Thank you all so much. Me and Baruch are from Florida, and we decided to relocate our family and our business, but in the midst of it all, we are in the process of building a district in Citrus County, Florida, and I see that everywhere we go, there's an issue, but coming together as a family to resolve it is the best way to go. I come from Citrus County, where at the moment, Republicans and Democrats are coming together, putting their political and religious views aside to unite. Ron DeSantis has turned away, the general attorney has joined, or not joined, but he's actually not even paid attention to the matter. LULAC has been the only organization that has paid attention to parents being stripped away from their rights in Florida. The only organization in America, I believe, over 200 families going forward. Now, me coming to Texas does does not eliminate that. We continue to fight, and I just want to thank LULAC for being part of it. And thank you all.
Let's give her a welcome, come on. Now, who does not like mariachi music here? Is there somebody here that actually doesn't like mariachi music? Right, here's a man that's going to bring it to you. Rolando Rivera graduated from Mesquite ISD. He graduated from Stephen F. Austin with a degree in music. He continues his education, and now he's assigned to Fort Worth ISD, and he's at Diamond Hill. Is that correct, Rolando? So let's hear it for Rolando and mariachi music.
Thank you. Good morning, buenos dias. My name is Rolando Rivera, and well, I really want to introduce myself. I'll be completely honest, I'm a little bit nervous. So, where do I start? Well, my education, as you saw before, is from Mesquite ISD. I was born and raised in Dallas, at Wall Street specifically. My dad worked construction all my life, and then my mom worked in the lunches in las escuelas, in the schools. And well, basically, I was born and raised there. I got my education there, and I started at band in middle school. And I'll try to keep it as short as possible. Started band in middle school, like you told me. And basically, I went through high school. At high school, I met a couple people from Guanajuato. And one of my friends, Ricardo, his family had a banda sinaloense. So I did marching band and stuff like that. And I learned, that's where I got connected to banda sinaloense, Mexican music. That's when I started learning all of that. And well, yeah, I graduated high school, I went to college, and well, basically, where I got my passion for music and education and was echarle ganas, and to work really hard in college was from the banda. It was actually from band music. It was actually outside of the school system. I had never heard of a mariachi being out of school. That doesn't exist in the ISD. So really where I learned everything besides of the school with people from Mexico and everything. Compared to over here in Fort Worth, we have the systems for that. I went to college because I wanted to pursue music education and become a mariachi director. And hopefully that branches off to more conjunto, more banda sinaloense music in the school systems. As for me, that kind of the fact that I needed to pass my classes and it's having habits to go to college, and in order for me to go give to support my family and including my brother, he's also a musician, that's where I got all my passion from. I graduated from college and I started looking for jobs, and I knew this may be a familiar name, Mr. Ramon Nino. So fun fact, I used to work construction in the summers with Steel Freeman here in Fort Worth. I used to work every summer during my college career, and one of the summers I actually worked on the north side with all of them. So keep in mind, I was just doing a summer job and stuff like that to help my dad. And that's where I met Ramon Nino, and he knew I was music education. And that's where I met him, and he recommended me to here in Fort Worth. Knowing my Mexican music background, I started at 15 years old, and I've always been at school. On the weekends, siempre iba a tocar. Family parties, I can tell you 70% of my gigs were always in Fort Worth. There was a couple in Alvarado, and here in Mesquite, Garland, but a huge percentage was in Fort Worth. I just want to clarify that. I know I'm not from Fort Worth. I'm still new to the community, but I have been around the community and seeing the culture, and that's what brought me here to want to be a teacher here. Once I graduated, Stephen F. Austin. If you don't know where that's at, that's in Nacogdoches in East Texas. I came to do my student teaching at Riverside Middle School and High School in band. That is where I met Liam Ibarra and Mr. English. the band directors there at the middle school and high school, and also the mariachi director, Samuel Ramirez. That's where I started to understand this is where I want to be. I got really connected to the students there. They were interested in the fact that I played, banda. I know I speak a lot of banda because that is my background. That's heavily my background. For those of you that know about music theory and stuff like that, the theory for banda is the same as mariachi. Now it doesn't sound the same, but the theory is there, the math behind it. So from there I graduated and I waited for a job and I applied at Fort Worth. I ended up getting a job at World Languages Institute as a Estudiantina director. At that time I was 22, I believe. So that was back in 2022 to 2023. No, 2023, sorry. And that was my first year teaching. I will be completely honest with you. I have never heard of Estudiantina before. But lo que sí dije, what I did say is, well, I know Mexican music. I know what it is. I may not be a guitar player, and I'm very open about that. I may not be a guitar player, but I do know Mexican music. So I tried for that job, I ended up getting the job, and I got to work. So my first year there was very different. I had to learn a lot about the system as any first year teacher. I'm going into my third year of teaching, and it was my first year. I had to learn guitar, I had to learn mandolin, bass, and all that stuff. Very, very from the beginning, but it was a little stressful. But I knew deep down inside of me, this is for the students. I'm willing to do this for the students. I always put anyone that knows me as a director, anyone that knows me as a teacher, not just the music director. I always put my students in front of me before anyone. And a lot of the music in that program, because it's not mariachi, it's estudiantina, doesn't exist. You actually have to write it out. Whereas in mariachi, you can buy it now because mariachi has been, there's a lot of population in mariachi education. In estudiantina, there's not. So you have to write a lot of the music. So let's say I want to grab a song from this song and format it for this kind of ensemble, I would have to write it. And I did a lot of my time on that. So for my first 2 years, I was there at World Languages Institute. I see a lot of familiar faces in here. I'm sorry if I don't remember you 100% because there's a lot of parents, but that's what kept me moving forward to music education here in Fort Worth. In my first 2 years, we went to UIL the first year. This school had never gone to UIL before, and it wasn't mariachi, so we had to go under experimental mariachi, which is just a different kind of ensemble. I took them, and we still get the same 3 judges, and worked really hard, and we got a superior rating from all 3 judges, and got our first trophy ever in that school. And then we also went to Mariachi Extravaganza, my first year of school, teaching there, sorry. And we also received a superior rating with the middle school ensemble and the high school ensemble there at Northside High School. My second year teaching, my goal was to take more students to these events. My second year was really the year where I started to incorporate the accordion and the bass. I knew Estudiantina is popular, but I knew mariachi was more popular. So I thought about how do I make this program more interesting? That's my job as a director, to sell the program and to provide the best to the students. How do I do that? Not everyone knows what Estudiantina is. So I did the bass, as a lot of the new music has a lot of coloroche, so that caught a lot of the interest of the students. I added accordion. Accordion is a very household instrument, conjunto, norteño banda. So I added accordion. Technically, it's not called Estudiantina until you add the accordion, based on what I learned when I did PBA down in Brownsville, in the Valley. So the second year, we incorporated a lot of accordion, and a lot of the students bought in. And I ended up taking my JV high school and my varsity high school to UIL that year. And my middle school, I took them to Extravaganza. I took 1 middle school and 2 high schools, JV and high school, or varsity high school, Extravaganza. So in total, in 2 years, we, as the community, and as Estudiantina, we earned 8 trophies in 2 years. So we went from 0 to 8. One of the first things I did when I got to World Languages Institute was hold a parent meeting. Because that's where the support comes from, right? My first year. That's one of the first things I did to explain to parents, who am I, right? I'm probably going to see your child more than you're probably going to see them at home. I see them at the school every single day, 5 days a week. So who am I? Where am I from? And what is my plan? What am I trying to do? The reason I mentioned a lot of my background from 4 languages is due to the fact that that's why I started. I'm going into my third year teaching, and I'm going to Diamond Hill. And I've always wanted to be a mariachi director and give myself that challenge. I think I did a pretty good job, pretty okay job at World Languages Institute, but I really wanted to test myself in the mariachi field. I am originally a brass player, so I do play tuba and trombone and trombone and banda and all that stuff. And then I got my guitar chops in World Languages Institute and all of my string methods there. So I came this coming year. I'll be the mariachi director here at Diamond Hill with the mentor with all the whole working mariachi directors. And coming into this community is really important to me. And I just want to assume it's important to you. It's very important to me, and here's why. I have the opportunity to start something from zero and to make it something great. That's the opportunity that I have always wanted to do, to have, and that is the goal for me. I do plan on going to perform at community events. Now, it will take time. I know Hispanic Heritage Month is coming up pretty soon. As much as I would want to, work as hard and really push the students to work with me, I will have to take time or get the students prepared. Starting from zero and starting all over, well, not all over, just starting from zero takes a lot of time. But the time will be well taken, I promise you that. And I expect to give everything to Diamond Hill as much as I can. And like I told the principal when I got hired, I'm not here for a race, I'm here for a marathon. I'm here for a long time. I do plan on being here and doing every single day, every single year, everything I got. And that's me. I just wanted to introduce myself. Thank you.
Any questions?
All the best to you.
The fifth.
Are you going to be able to perform your group on September 16th?
That's one of the things I mentioned. As much as I would want to, I don't know what exactly the students are in front of me, if that makes sense. So I would rather play safe and tell you that will have to wait, because the quality of the students is what's in front of me, and that's the priority. So I don't want to make a promise that I cannot hold, if that makes sense. So my answer is not at the moment.
Not at the moment. They keep April, the week before May 5th. That's when we're going to be inviting again different performance groups from the schools to participate at Cinco in the district, that is right in the cultural district with the Museum of Science and History. And just to mention to everybody, it is so important to support these kids because they are so proud when they perform. And we saw all those different kids from Estudiantina, Mariachi, and all the different ones. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you. Yes, I will definitely
Related to her question, what's the time frame, and do you have a dedicated page, website, or information in which we can provide assistance, financial help if necessary?
So in the school systems, we already collect a instrument fee, first semester and second semester. That's basically a fee if something happens to the instrument or string repairs. The students will already have a fee. It's usually $40 in the fall semester and $40 in the spring semester. But we can definitely set up like a fundraiser and things like that. That is not set completely just yet, but that will be, and trust me, I'm good with sending out emails. I will be sending those out. Just keep in touch, and I'll for sure make sure, hopefully, that will be in the Facebook page and any Diamond Hill related page so y'all can access that information.
And Stella and Sal, we want to make sure we get them to come to our convention next year. Schedule them, please. Thank you so very much. Any other questions? Otra pregunta. Oh, if there's any announcements, if you could join me up here and make your announcements. But first, thank you very much, Rolando.
Thank you.
Appreciate you for being here. Renato de los Santos is our Executive Director for our LULAC Educational Service Center in Dallas, Texas. I wanted to tell you some of the things that he does, encouraging kids not only to stay in school, but preparing them for college and higher education, and how he takes them to different universities on the way wherever LULAC has its convention. We visit all these universities, top-notch universities, so the kids know, I belong here. You don't go somewhere that you've never been to, you know, and that, you know, these universities belong to us, just like the school belongs to us. They're our schools. They're not somebody else's schools. Ray, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Hector. I think you just shared our story. He is our national chairman of the board, so we want to thank him for his service as well with the LULAC Education Center. Gracias, Hector. Thank you. I just want to share with you a couple of things. I know over the years, I've been here many times talking to you about some of what we do. We do have, thankfully, 3 significant federal grants from the U.S. Department of Education that allows us to do that work. As you know, the new administration in D.C. sometimes does not favor, or a lot of times does not favor federal expenditures to support education and other programs. We are one of them. We have been somewhat targeted, but not just us, but the whole group. There's like 2,000 different program colleges and universities, mostly that are funded like us, to do this type of work. We're glad that the convention is going to be in Los Angeles. We are traveling with 2 bus loads from Dallas of students. We go purposely by bus. Other programs fly, but we go by bus because we take more students. And we're stopping at Texas Tech. We're stopping at UNM. We're stopping at University of Northern Arizona so they can see those universities and interact with professors at the Chicano Study Center, Chicano Study Center at UNM, for example, and other departments, STEM programs and others along the way. And then when we get to California, we're going to spend the day at UCLA, and yes at USC, and yes at Occidental, but also some of the other smaller colleges like Cal State, Long Beach. But that's about our program. We also do a lot of scholarship matching, so we're pleased that we have scholarship councils, participants here in Tarrant County and in Weatherford that participate in our matching scholarship program. And we also partner with other corporate partners. So I want to tell you about one right now. We have a partnership with a Ford Philanthropy that offers scholarships up to $5,000 per person for students who are going into auto tech. This is not a field that we normally have a lot of money or resources aimed at, but Ford has said that they would be willing, they put up over $4 million. Scholarship is available on a rolling basis. And you can just look up Ford Philanthropy Auto Tech, Ford Auto Tech, and you can get that application information. And you have any student that's interested, they have to be low income, they have to demonstrate that. But other than that, they have to be accepted into a program. And the Tarrant County College's Auto Tech program is definitely one of those eligible programs. So if you know students who are wanting to study or needing to study any ethnic, religious, racial, or other background, they, as long as they're accepted and studying in the program, they qualify to apply for that scholarship. So please help us get the word out. And with that said, Hector, unless I left something out.
We're moving along fast. I want you to tell them how many centers we have throughout the country, so that I think you may know other people that they can actually do outreach to us if you have relatives or children that are out there that perhaps we can touch.
So Hector's correct. We have 16 regional offices or centers throughout the country, including one of those being on the island of Puerto Rico. So we have 15 on the mainland, including 6 in Texas, El Paso, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, Corpus Christi, and of course, DFW, Dallas. So we are based in Dallas, but as often as we can, as well as we can, we try to serve the students here in Tarrant County as well. Thank you.
Can you give them a telephone number that they could access in case they have any questions?
Feel
Whether
free to-
they're kids or grandkids or cousins or whomever, may be able to at least call in and see what they want to do and see if they have access to the information.
Feel free to give us a call at 214-943-2528. And I do also want to mention that we do have what we call a local community advisory board. And we're pleased that one of our members, it's a small group of 7 people. One of our members is your district director, Joanna. So thank you, Joanna, for serving on that. And we're pleased that that you're now, she was your deputy for youth, and now she's your district director. So we're pleased and we'll be happy to work with her as well on that. And as we consider expanding the board, we'd love for you to consider and nominate somebody else that works with education preferably, but somebody else from the Tarrant County area, District 21, that would want to join us on that board as well.
Thank you. And Madam District Director, you want to get close by here so you can make some parting shots? I'd like to introduce Mr. Rodney Lee, who's a candidate for Tarrant County Justice of the Peace, number 4.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. I wanted to come by and speak to you all. Thank you, first of all, LULAC, for having me here. We heard a lot of conversation about it at the federal level, but I do want to warn you, don't dismiss the local. There's a lot going on right now, and I don't mind naming his name. Tim O'Hara right now is doing a lot of things to make sure that the black and brown vote does not count in the way that we want it to count. That's absolutely ridiculous. They redrew the lines in 2022. Now they've come back and redrew it again, and they're getting ready to do it possibly again. I'm running for Justice of the Peace Precinct 4 because one of the reasons that I'm running is because it's important that we have representation in these courts. We've got to have people in court who know what we're going through and who will make judgments that are fair and equitable. Quite frankly, he said that he's going to do everything possible to make sure he put a Republican, someone who does not look like you and I, in those seats. So I'm running for Justice of the Peace Precinct 4. So if you live in the White Settlement, River Oaks, Lake Worth, Saginaw, Azle area, I need your help. If you know someone there, please tell them about me. My website is real simple. It's Rodney Lee for JOP. Isn't that smart? Rodney Lee for JOP. Please, by all means, and I'll be sitting back here. If you live in one of those areas, I need 250 signatures. I'm not concerned about getting it, but I definitely would hope that you would sign my petition. One of the things that as I get ready to sit down is just tell you this. I have 3 platforms or 3 things that I run off of. Basically, it's integrity. I will do what I said I'm going to do. Aren't you tired of people making promises and then they get there and they forget all about you? I'm going to run on truth. I'm going to tell you the absolute truth. If I can do it, I will do it. If I can't, I will find a resource whatever way I can to make sure that there's representation. And then justice. There has to be justice accessible for every single one of us. Every single one of it. It can't just be for the elite. So I'm saying to you, if you choose me as your next Justice of the Peace, guarantee you will see me again, not just in the election cycles. So please remember my name. My name is Rodney Lee. I'm running for Justice of the Peace. I appreciate the time. Thank you. Excuse me?
Precinct 4, is that southwest?
No, it's actually north. So like I'm saying, it encompasses River Oaks, White Settlement, Lake Worth, Saginaw, and Azle. Okay. And I'm saying to you guys that you're looking at somebody who's going to work hard for you. I promise you that.
And now,
All right. So thank you, Hector, for the opportunity to speak. I was not expecting to speak today, but once again, I'm Joanna Cardozo, your newly elected district director. My cell phone number is 972-533-2986 in case anyone wants to get a hold of me. We do have an executive board. Some of them, not everyone is here, but some of our members, executive board members are sitting over here at the table.
Thank you for coming out this morning. I know that your time is precious. Thank you to all the speakers and all the elected officials that are here to listen to issues that are important to our community. I did forget to say one thing with Estela. She's been very good about making sure that it's very important that we communicate to anyone that's coming to the Fort Worth Convention that it's once the hotel block has been released, that it's very important that you book your hotel because we only have a certain number of rooms, and with FIFA being in town, the room rates are expected to go double or triple. So once that information is released, please make sure you book a hotel if you know someone that's coming from out of town. Okay, my cell phone number is 972-533-2986. 972-533-2986. Your executive board is gonna have a planning session in August, at the mid-August. We're looking forward to figuring out what priorities we're gonna be concentrating on for District 21. My main goal is unity in regards to working together. We have a lot of issues affecting our community at the county, state, and national level, and I know that our community needs us, so that's my vision is unity among our LULAC members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, and I've given out my cell phone number like 3 times, but feel free to come up to me if you have any questions. Thank you.
Congratulations again. Is there anybody that wants to make an announcement? Now's the time.